All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stun Athlete, the podcast where we explore life beyond the game. I'm Dominique Wilson, and today's episode is a special one for Mother's Day. I'm joined by someone I've known since I was literally like 9 or 10 from our AAU basketball days in Georgia, Nikki Baize. Nikki's journey from basketball court to entrepreneurship and motherhood is nothing short of inspiring. Let's dive into her story. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everyone. This is Dominique Wilson, the host for Stun Athlete, and my sis, Nikki Baize, used to be Nikki Dixon. We've gone way back. We've known each other since I was like 9, you were 10. So this is my sis for real. Nikki, beautiful.
Sure.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I'm so excited to talk about all the things.
Yes, absolutely. So first question is like early on, how did like your early basketball career shape your drive and determination? Because you were always a ruthless player. I loved playing with you and loved watching you play. So yeah, how did your early basketball career shape your drive?
Yeah, so I got into basketball solely because most people, their parents kind of push them into a sport that they desire to play, and you kind of fall into the footsteps because you don't really want to disappoint them. So your earlier years are you don't really know your why yet, right? But you know that it makes your parents happy, it makes you happy, and that's enough. I loved basketball. I loved everything about it. It's definitely been my driving factor of who I am today. I think any sports that you're in really teaches you a lot about your characteristics, what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, your strengths, your weaknesses. It reveals it all. It really shapes you for your adulthood and how you want to be as an adult. So, you mentioned I was ruthless. You loved playing with me. That's the same thing I have in my entrepreneurship in my adult life. I am ruthless. I do not take no for an answer. I'm very driven, and it's because of basketball.
Yeah, I love that. And your brother and sister and your mom, like every time I think of you, I think of them. Were they also a driving force while you were trying to, of course you're playing basketball, but while you were trying to like grow up as a woman and just learn yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My dad was pretty absent growing up, but he was behind the scenes teaching me how to play. Most people just didn't get a chance to see him in the stands for unfortunate reasons. But he really was my support system. He was my why, and he still is my why, although he's no longer with us. My brother stepped in and did do that father role for me. He pushed me. He didn't allow me to stay on a team for more than 2 years. He genuinely felt like a coach couldn't teach you more than he could within 2 years of working with him. So he really propelled me forward and always to a better team, a better situation. Even if it was harder for me to leave my friends, I knew the ultimate goal was to be professional. And, as you learn in life, not everyone is going to stay with you on your journey. So to stick around for a team because you are friends with them is a discernment to your journey in basketball career. My family has been a huge support system. My mom never missed a college game. We were always 2.5 hours away. It was important for us, after my father passed while I was in college, my troops really stood behind me. So they've been very supportive, for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, she's not talking about no regular college. She went to Clemson, big time college. ACC.
Let's go.
Killed. Yeah. Well, so how was like your transition away from basketball early on? Like you spoke about your entrepreneurship. How was that pivot?
It was very difficult while I was playing. So my last couple years in college were very challenging. I had a coaching change. I dealt with a lot of different players in and out, different egos, different, everything was very different. There was no, system that was set in place that we were all, working toward as far as developing a culture. It was very, dog eat dog world. It just wasn't a team atmosphere anymore. But I knew that I wanted to play after. I was just losing the love that I had for basketball and losing my why. But when I decided to go overseas and play, I gained it all back within the same season. It was just an unfortunate situation that I was in during the last couple of years of college. I found that spirit again when I traveled and played overseas for Switzerland, Israel, Romania, Luxembourg. I did what I sought out to do at the age of 8 years old, right? So I accomplished that goal. While I accomplished that goal, I didn't know what my next steps were. I knew that I was playing professional, but like, what else? Like, am I supposed to go to the WNBA, right? Like, am I going to work my butt off to get there? That was the ultimate question. And as soon as I realized, no, I do not want that dream anymore, it became evident that my career was ending. And after my career ended, I sat in silence for a very long time. I was, I wouldn't say depressed. It was more like, how am I going to get this feeling of like a rush that in a different part of my life? Like, am I ever going to be that successful? Did I already peak in my life? Like, there were so many questions I was asking, and I knew that the ultimate answers were going to come from my faith. I leaned in heavy on my faith. I talked it out with my support system. What are you good at? I was like, I love to paint, right? So we're talking about everything from painting to pottery to, modeling, whatever it was. I knew that I need to talk to someone about it. I couldn't sit with it, because if I sat with it, I was going to end up in a restaurant. I was going to end up being an Uber driver, something that wasn't exciting because I didn't have people pouring back into me, letting me know what my strengths were. So as soon as I opened up to my support system, they started telling me some of my attributes that they thought that I would be good at, and it led me to modeling. Once I had modeling under my belt, and it wasn't easy, whatever you enter new, you're not good at, you're not experienced. So it's hard to jump into something when you don't have any cred on your back. And that's why it's important that basketball isn't the be all in your life. You have to be a kid. You have to be a person outside of the game. You can't let the game identify you as a person. So it's important that, you lean and you talk and you speak to people and you try to dig and find what your other passion is outside of the game.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because that was something that I did not do. I did not, dig into other people. I just kind of, and, I'm stubborn that way. I kind of try to figure out on my own. And like you said, basketball or any sport is not gonna go on forever. It has a shelf life. And to find your purpose outside of basketball now, even while you're playing, or you're go into a fortunate situation where you can't play anymore, to dig into your support system. So I love that you said that, and I wished I would have talked to you before I had retired, and you would have told me that, but my stubborn self, I was like,
it's not easy. Life isn't meant to be, and I agree, like, life isn't meant, you're not supposed to figure it out alone. It's important that you reach out to somebody that you're comfortable with and just start the conversation. You never know where it's going to lead. So I definitely encourage anyone to, just talk to someone for sure. It helps.
I love that. And this is our Mother's Day edition episode. So, yes, ma'am. How did entering motherhood influence your personal and professional aspirations?
Yeah, that's a great question. So after, I decided to pick up modeling and things were going really well, modeling came very easy to me, as far as, I wasn't doing anything too difficult as like editorial or going overseas and shooting. It was all commercial, Nike, just smiling, Kohl's, Dick's Sporting Goods, just I'm back in my athletic bag. So I felt like I was on the right path towards something. And through this whole entire journey, I met my now husband in college. So I've had a support system every step of the way telling me, what kind of mother I'm going to be, what kind of person I'm going to be. He's a bit older than me, so he's really helped guide me. And I hate to say this, sounds awful, but like parent me and use his wisdom in a way that really inspired me and to help me grow. So when it was time for us to have conversations about kids after we were married, it became evident that what stuck by me was, he said, you are so competitive in everything that you do. I know you're going to be a great mom. You're going to be competitive in it. You're going to want the best for your kids. You're going to want to be the best version for yourself, for your kids. And that really just spoke volumes to me. And I've held myself accountable to that statement ever since. So what's helped shape me is just like the drive that I had, the ruthlessness. Like when I see my kids, like I embody so much confidence in them. There was things that my parents lacked, right? So when you get older, you always think about what your parents could have did better, right? And then you want to be better for your kids for that. That's normal. It's a human trait. So when that came around, I just knew that everything that I lacked growing up, I wanted to instill in my kids. And that's what I'm doing today. I have 2 wonderful boys. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. We're still looking to expand our family. So I'm just trying to be a competitive mom as far as I'm trying to be a competitive mom as far as just standing up and showing up for them every day.
I love that. And your family is freaking beautiful. Like, I love when you post social media. Yeah, definitely. And
thank you.
Like, just watch you talk about your family. You just glow so much. You look so serene. So
thank
love you, Nikki. Yeah,
love
girl. You. And you founded Neuron Design. Did I say the name correctly?
Yeah, Neuron Designs. Yep. Interior design service.
Yes, ma'am. And you're a restaurant owner. So what inspired you to venture to like entrepreneurship and interior design and being a restaurant owner?
So it goes back to basketball, right? What inspired me was I got tired of people telling me what to do and how to act and how to be. And that ultimately led me to retirement. And it ultimately, like, I always knew that like I couldn't work for somebody else. So as soon, backstory, after I graduated and I talked about, restaurants or whatever, I jumped into a restaurant industry because I did not know what to do. I just knew that I was not trying to spend my savings, that I just worked hard for overseas. And that gap period is really, it's brutal, but it's important that you go through that to head to the next stage. You can't go from success unless you have an investment team behind you or someone that is literally gave you a handout, right? So there's a period where you really have to figure it out. You can't just sit on your butt. So that really led me to entrepreneurship and just knowing that I wanted to be the voice for whatever I'm doing. I didn't want someone else to tell me how to build their program or to build their business. I wanted to be the person to build my own. So that really led me into entrepreneurship. And then when COVID hit and the world was very still, I was building a home. I was building my house that I have now through that, and it became a job. And I knew that I just had like this glow and this passion about building my own house. And I was like, I think I want to be an interior designer. And my husband, being who he is, let's go, let's LLC you, let's whatever. And I was like, I'm sad because I don't have any background as far as educational goes or anything. And he was like, you do not need it. You do not need it. You show the world what you can do and they will follow. He's always been an echo in my ear to all my successes. So it's been great. So that's what led me into, multiple businesses. My husband owns multiple businesses. We have a family office. We're really big into real estate, few restaurants, into the hospitality business. We own a sports agency team. The list goes on. And so it's in our DNA to continue this path and to show our kids what you're capable of being entrepreneurship and having a nice family all in one. You don't have to pick.
Yeah. Y'all it goes for real. What I know, it probably wasn't an easy feat to go into entrepreneurship. What were some of the, I guess, hurdles that you had to tackle? I know you mentioned education. Were there like any more when you were making that fit?
Yeah, there were, I feel like I was just thinking about this in the shower this morning. You really don't know the network that you have gained throughout your life until you're ready to use the people that you feel like could help you. And so I was thinking about that in the shower today. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get to this point in my career with interior design? And it's because I put myself out there. When I was growing up, I was constantly traveling. I was constantly just learning and absorbing entrepreneurship. I was just constantly trying to wrap my head around what I could do out here in the world, like how I could benefit. Like if I heard someone else's story, I was like, I want to be that person. If I heard this, I want to do that. Instead of just sitting and echoing what's inside of you and really taking action, I had to give up I'm the type of girl that had probably 4 jobs until I finally decided to pick a lane. You know, my mom told me, you're going to be able to do everything, but where are you going to stop and pivot and make that one direction line? And that's your be all. You have to figure that point out in your life, because at one point I was social media manager. I was a restaurant server, bartender, and I staged Airbnbs. How is that a career? Knowing that you can do multiple things is not a career. You have to pick a lane at some point in your life, and you have to buy into that. And that's exactly what happened. And as soon as I decided to pick a lane and get rid of all the other things that I was doing, I really said, okay, I'm going to invest in myself. And once I invested in myself, those savings that I was talking about earlier, once I invested in myself, things happened, you know, the good things happen. And it's so scary to invest in yourself because you don't know the return. You bet on yourself, right? And that's entrepreneurship. You bet on yourself every day. So with that being said, the first hurdles were just telling a client that I knew how to do what I was doing without really knowing what I was doing. You know, it's just, yeah, I mean, that's the first hurdle. It's like, hey, can you build a fence outside? Yeah. Have I ever built a fence? No, I didn't go to school. I didn't do these things, but it's my job to show that I'm capable of doing anything. And I use every single client that I've had as a learning situation every step of the way. And perception's reality. What I post luxury. I post what I want clients to see because I want those clients back, right? So it's really just, it's a bit of a game when it comes to entrepreneurship, but as long as you continue to put your best foot forward and show the world what you want in receiving it, then it'll all fall out for you. You can't die out. You got to give, you got to do it, and you got to consistently do it for years to come. And I'm at a point in my career now where business is knocking on my door. I don't have to use my network. And that's when I know that God has given me this gift, because things are happening without me reaching out to others.
I love that. And when I play this back, I know I'm going to be taking a lot of notes. So thanks for sharing. Hey. I'm so serious. So serious. Yes, good. So were there like any qualities you learned from sports that has helped you with your success?
Yeah, just the leadership role. I think when it comes to basketball, most of my coaches wanted me to fall into a leadership role. I've always been a leadership by action, not by words. I didn't feel like I had confidence enough or support enough maybe from my teammates to really think that I was the bold leader that I feel like I am today. So I feel like my coaches that have tried to push me into that has really propelled me to who I am today, because they saw something in me and I knew that I could get there, but it came from me. It didn't come from others' validations telling me who I needed to be. It came from me believing in what other people were saying, not because, okay, I'm good, right? No, it's, hey, I'm fire with this, right? So it's words of affirmations. And so to that from yourself, not from others, because like I said before, you can't take everybody with you in life. So your only person is you. The only person that's going to help you in life is you. So until you realize that and bet on yourself, then, you're still in development, right? So with that being said, basketball shaped me to be a leader. It shaped me to be confident. It's definitely shaped me to be on time.
Yeah.
For everything. If you know, you know, right? And it's just been the best. Basketball, like I'm around it today. Like my husband and I, we own a boarding school, a national boarding school here in Lincolnton, North Carolina. So I'm constantly around that. I have a basketball court at my house. Basketball is our foundation, right? So what we've learned from basketball is our foundation, and who we are is from the work that we've done to get here as far as adults. So I've learned a lot from basketball, and it's definitely helped shape me into the strong vocal leader that I am today.
Yeah, I love that. And I know we're cutting down to our time, so I just want to ask, what advice would you give to former athletes who are, navigating new roles as parents or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's a great question. Advice that I can give is just like really prioritize what's important and then pour into that. So if that's friends, that's family, however you feel like you're getting poured back into, chase that direction, because that's going to lead you to peace. That's going to lead you to the promised land, right? So like, for me, like I've had to cut off a lot of people in my life, and it hasn't been easy, but I used to be the girl that wanted to be liked. I used to be the girl that needed validation. And it never filled my cup needing that. So the fact that I can give that to myself really shows that others, like if you have confidence in yourself, others have confidence in you. If you invest in yourself, others believe in you, right? So just believe in yourself and just be directional for your priorities. And everything else is a big distraction. And until you realize that and hone in on that, then it'll be a very long journey, and before you get to that piece, that end zone that you're searching, that you're looking for. So my advice would be just to lean into your support system, follow your priorities, and laugh a lot during that time. Have fun with life. It's never that serious, but at the same time, make a choice. If you're in your head, like I talk about this all the time, life is about choices. If you're in your head between this choice or that choice, just say, hey, I'm in a situation where it's a choice. And if you say that out loud, it helps you realize that you need to pick one or the other, and it's going to shape you. So continue to learn yourself, dive into yourself, and focus on your family and your priorities. And I think that life would be just a beautiful oasis for you.
Yes. Tea, honey, tea. All right, last question. This is a fun one. I ask everyone this.
All right.
If aliens came to Earth and said, take me to your leader.
Wait, what?
Don't look at me like that, bro.
Wait, what did you say? Start it over.
Okay. If aliens came to Earth and they said, take me to your leader, who would you take them to and why? It can be a person, it can be a place, it doesn't matter. It can be a cartoon character. Who would you take them to?
Well, I would have to die, because I would take him to God. It'd be like, talk to him. Okay. That is my leader. That is my soul angel. That is who guides me. I'm heavy on my faith. If you know my mom, you know why. So if I had an alien face me, I would be like, well, you need to face the Lord before you face me. Okay. So that would be it. And then if I had to pick a person on earth, it would be my husband, Jonah, because he's my leader. He's, my king. I believe in him. And I would want the aliens to face him. So if I had to pick, definitely God and Jonah.
I love that, girl. Y'all love is so beautiful. Your family is so beautiful. And if I don't talk to you on Sunday, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there. You're doing it, and I know how hard it is, but there's a silver lining. And the fact that you decided to have that kid is a beautiful thing and a gift. So
yes.
XOXO to all the lovely moms, all the entrepreneurs out there. Let's do it together, right?
Yes. All right, Nikki. Love you, girl.
Love you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Mwah. Bye. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Nikki, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Your story is a testament to the resilience and adaptability that athletes possess both on and off the court. To our listeners, if Nikki's story resonated with you, please share this episode and leave a review. Happy Mother's Day to all the incredible moms out there. Until next time, stay inspired and remember that no matter what, you are loved and you are still an athlete and you are not alone.